From March 1992, Damn, I Wish I Was Your Lover, got to number 17 here. And before Sophie B. Hawkins, you were listening to Young Sean, who assures me that he and the Old School Show will be back next Sunday at about 8 p.m. Well, here we are, and welcome to Monday, December 9th, and to Freedom FM's Night Cruise, where for the next 2 hours I'll be serving up a soothing selection of the finest romantic, relaxing, and chill songs to bring back the best sounds, sensations, and hopefully memories of the 90s and noughties. My name is Feargal, and I'm delighted that you've chosen to spend your Monday morning with me. And now that you're here, you'll be glad to know that I've managed to chuck a half-decent show together for you. You see, after one, we'll be playing a little game called Love Slowed Down, and if you've forgotten what that's all about, I'll fill you in on the details shortly. While in this hour, I want us to savor the last few moments of the weekend and find out what you got up to over the last 72 hours in our I Know What You Did Last Weekend bit before the reality of Monday morning sets in a few hours' time. Now, listen up, because this show is nothing without you. So if you would like to get in touch with me this morning for any reason whatsoever, well, you can message me on text or WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. Alternatively, you can drop me an email at hello@freedomfm.ie. And remember, you can also find me, voice actor Fergs, spelt how it sounds, on Threads, Blue Sky, Insta, and on my new favourite social media site, says.us. Right, with all the mandatory bits and bobs sorted, why don't you and I settle in and make some night cruise memories? And we'll do that in 3, 2, 1. From November 2002, Counting Crows went to number 7 here with their cover of Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi. Morning to you. This is the Night Cruise from Freedom FM, where right now I want to hear from you for this morning's I Know What You Did Last Weekend bit. So no matter what you were up to, be that celebrating a milestone birthday, out at a concert, meeting the family, or just chilling on the sofa, we want to hear all about it. So don't be shy. Get in touch on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888 and tell the world what you got up to this weekend. As for me, I have to tell you, I think this weekend was the quiet one before the oncoming Christmas storm. You see, on Friday, I went out to meet some friends, and on Saturday I stayed in, read my current book. It's called Noble House, if you want to check it out. I also watched a bit of sport on the old television, and on Sunday, well, I took the dog for a long walk before coming into the studio here in Bluebell to play a few songs for you. Anyway, I'm sure that your weekend was far more exciting and productive than mine, and we want you to share your stories with us. So send me a WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888, and let's relive your weekend moments together before we all end up back in work a little bit later on this morning. It's the Night Cruise on Freedom FM, and you will remember that just a little while ago I invited you all to get in touch and share your weekend tales with us on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888 for our I Know What You Got Up To This Weekend bit. And as always, you've been wonderfully open with your stories. So let's kick things off by saying a very good morning to Colin Thompson, who reached out to me from Cork. Fergsy says, on Saturday night, my better half, Rose, and I took a ride on the Corkmas Ferris wheel before heading into town to see the Hot-Blooded Animals gig at the Poor Relation. It was so nice to see the city from up high and set off the mood for a perfect evening for Rose and me. I've never been on that Ferris wheel, Colin, and you know what? I think that Apple tax money should be used to build a few London Eye-style Ferris wheels in all of our big cities. Well, that's just me, a bit of a dreamer. Anyway, thank you for getting in touch this morning, Colin, and I'm happy to hear that you and Rose had a great evening. Now, here's another WhatsApp, and this one comes in from Lucy Baxter, who's in Sutton this morning. Fergal says, Lucy, on Saturday afternoon, I went with my children, Donna and Brendan, to the Christmas fair at Ardgillan Castle. We had a wonderful time. I found some stocking fillers from Irish crafts people. The kids had a good run around the grounds, and the mulled wine wasn't too bad. Oh, I love a bit of mulled wine, me. Anyway, thanks for getting in touch this morning, Lucy. And it sounds like you and the kids had a wonderful afternoon. So, what about you? Have you had any sort of adventures this weekend? Whether it was a grand escapade or a small joy, we want to hear about it. Reach out to me on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. But don't dawdle, because the final round of I Know What You Did Last Weekend is just around the corner, right after we hear from you too.
I
That's Dido and Life for Rent on the Night Cruise from Freedom FM, the best musical memories of the 90s and noughties. And just now I was looking back at December 1996 in the big book of events that we've got here in the studio, and I see that Alanis Morissette won Singer of the Year at the Billboard Music Awards. Here in Dublin, we all went to the cinema to watch Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox in the classic horror movie Scream, and of course the Spice Girls released Two Become One. That's got to be my favourite Boyzone song from October 1996. That's their cover of the Bee Gees' words, and a much better version, in my humble opinion, than the original. Now, a while ago, I asked you to share your weekend escapades with us for our I Know What You Did Last Weekend bit. And guess what? Tina York from Galway has done just that. Feargal, she says, on Friday, my hubby Adrian and I went into the Town Hall Theatre for the Christmas by Candlelight concert. Two choirs, lots of Christmas classic songs, and the candles made for a lovely evening. Sounds beautiful, Tina, and I'm glad to hear that you and Adrian enjoyed it, and thank you for reaching out to me this morning. Now, this week's final I Know What You Did Last Weekend shout out goes to Tony O'Brien, who says on Saturday, my wife Mary and I went to the Olympia to watch The Undertones without Feargal Sharkey, but still it was a brilliant gig, full of energy, which brought back many memories of our misspent youth. You know what, Tony, I remember The Undertones when I was just a little kid in short pants, and their music was brilliant and full of energy. Anyway, thanks for getting in touch this morning, Tony. So, if you've enjoyed hearing about other people's weekend adventures, then why not spread the word? Share the fun with a friend, and make sure to join us again next Monday morning just after midnight, because we'll be here ready to dive into more of your stories on Freedom FM's Night Cruise. From October 2000, those are the Backstreet Boys and Shape of My Heart right here on Freedom FM. Well, good morning. How are you this morning? And welcome to the second hour of the Night Cruise. And the good news is you've arrived just in time to get involved in our Love Slowed Down game. Now, if you're new to the cruise, first off, a warm welcome to you. And secondly, let me quickly explain how this game works. You see, just before going on air, I ventured into the spider-infested and cobweb-festooned production studio here at Freedom FM Towers in the Bluebell Industrial Estate and picked out a well-known 90s or noughties romantic or relaxing song. I put it on the record player and I slowed the speed down from 45 to 33 and a bit RPM. I recorded a little snippet. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to identify the song that I've slowed down. Now, I hope that explanation has cleared the game up for you. So, without any further ado, let's have a listen to this week's Love Slowed Down, shall we? So, if you think you know what song that is and would like to be with the chance of getting a name check, yes, a whole name check on the radio just before 2, then send me your answers on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888, and tell me who this is. So it's 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888 on WhatsApp if you know who that is. And if I receive any incorrect answers, well, I'll share some of those with you right after we enjoy a little bit of Beth Orton. It's the Night Cruise on Freedom FM, where I'd like to say a very big thank you to everyone who's joined in to play along with this week's Love Slowed Down game. The game where you have to identify the artist and title of their song from a brief snippet that I've slowed down from 45 to 33 and a bit RPM. And this week, I asked you to have a go at telling me what Love Slowed Down track this is. Now, I have to tell you, I have had some incorrect answers sent in by the usual messers. And before I go any further, I need to say I love your ingenuity of coming up with some of the most ridiculous suggestions ever. So I can tell you that this week's Love Slowed Down is not Have I Told You Lately by Rod Stewart, nor is it Here I Am by Bryan Adams, and it's definitely not 1993's Christmas number one, Mr. Blobby by Mr. Blobby. And thank you for sending that one in from James in Galway. So if you think you know what this week's Love Slowed Down track is, then get in touch and tell me on WhatsApp to 086 206 8888. That's 086 206 8888. And in case you need to hear it again, lend your ears to this. So it's 086 206 8888 on text or WhatsApp. That's 086 206 8888. But you gotta be quick, because the answer is on the way right after we indulge in a little bit of Hot House Flowers. You're listening to The Night Cruise on Freedom FM, the station that likes to take you back to the 90s and noughties. And just a moment ago, I was looking back at what was going on in May 2007. And can you remember what happened then? Well, on a sad note, that was the month that Madeleine McCann disappeared. But on a more positive note, Ian Paisley and Martin McGuinness formed the first Northern Ireland executive. In the cinema, we went to see Pirates of the Caribbean, Shrek the Third, and No Country for Old Men. And if you're out clubbing, maybe, just maybe, you slow danced to Fergie and Big Girls Don't Cry. No. From 1993, that's William Orbit and Water from a Vine Leaf on the Night Cruise from Freedom FM, where you have been playing along with this week's Love Slowed Down game. The game where you got to tell me the name of a song by listening to a slowed down snippet of music. And the good news is it's time to reveal the answer. But before I tell you, let's have a quick reminder of the song that you've been guessing at this morning. As always, many of you got it right, but as you regular night cruisers know, due to the PC here in the studio, I can only name check 4 people at any one time. So with that caveat in mind, I want to say a big hello and well done to Lily Wilkinson, who got in touch from Newbridge, Niall Carney, who reached out to me from Lucan, Linda Barrett, listening in Palmerstown in Dublin, and Thomas Cook, who WhatsApped me from Navan, because you all correctly identified this week's Love Slowed Down track as... hang on, I almost forgot. If you enjoyed playing Love Slowed Down, then you know what you got to do. Tell a friend and join us again next week just after 1, when we will do it all over again. As for this week's Love Slowed Down, well, it is Kiss from a Rose by Seal. There you go, that's Show Me Heaven from Maria McKee, and that song tells me that that is all the mess I can make of your radio. For now, thank you for your company, both you and your messages made to the show as always. Now my man, Michael B, he'll be serving your breakfast at 8, while at 7, Alan, he'll be here to do the Freedom Years. As for me, well, I'll be back a little bit later on tonight at 11 with another night cruise. Until then, my friends, thank you for your time this time. So, until next time, take care of yourselves and, of course, each other.